Hi friends, planner season is upon us and I'm faced with a bit of a conundrum and I would really love your help. Welcome back to another installment of From My Desk. This is an ongoing series where I share bits and bobs of my life. Think of this like a video call from my desk to yours. Today I'm going to figure out my 2026 planning and journaling system. I'm going to be mind mapping all my plans out, and I'm like really new to the planner world. You know me as a bullet journalist. So for all of those who are really well versed in the planner brands out there, I would sincerely appreciate your recommendations based off of my particular goals and needs. We're also going to do a little plan with me. We're going to set up for September. And lastly, if you stick to the end, I have a special announcement to make, the launch of my new blog and a giveaway to celebrate. You won't want to miss it. At least I hope you won't. Anyways, let's begin. Hello, camera angle change. I was thinking that I would go through my steps in my no stress guide to planner season video. So the first step is to pause, breathe, and notice your triggers. Okay, jokes aside, I don't know about you, but lately I've been really feeling the itch to just figure out my planning and journaling ecosystem for 2026, even though it's still August. It might be because Hobonichi's had all these previews coming out and it's all over social media. So with all this content bombarding me on my YouTube home feed, I can't help but feel like there's an itch that I need to scratch. And I think it's good in a way to figure it out now, because if I can clarify my goals, my needs, the non-negotiables, and understanding what's nice to have and what's a must-have, then I can bring this short list with me as a clear filter for me to funnel down all the planners out there to figure out what really suits me. Right now I feel a bit chaotic and overwhelmed because there are so many beautiful options out there, and it's also like this shiny object syndrome where I see something and I think, oh, this looks so good, and somehow in the novelty of it I kind of convince myself it's gonna work for me, even though I've never tried it out myself. This is what this video is for, is me sitting down, mind mapping everything so I can see what's going on in my mind, and then I'm gonna do a trial run for September. I'm gonna figure out if the things that I want in different planners will actually work for me, or I'm just being swept up and captivated by the novelty of a Hobonichi Weeks, because look at this. It's so darn cute. This is an old Hobonichi Weeks. I'm gonna repurpose it and try it out for September. We shall see. It's very empty because I didn't really use it. Step number 2 is to reflect on my past habits and to audit my current system. So let's audit. First up, we have my A5 Leuchtturm 1917 dotted notebook. This is my bullet journal. I want to share with you the spreads that I've been using that I think I'll keep for 2026. A future log, a bird's eye view of the coming months ahead, a simple monthly log. I think I can do a typical grid calendar layout. The only reason why I do linear calendars is because it's easier for me just to write dates down the page than to calculate the grids across 2 pages. I like a habit tracker. However, if there is some way that I could combine all my habit trackers to one entire collection into like one section of the notebook, that would be great. But I find that I only really like tracking my habits 1 month at a time instead of doing a whole entire year. I also use my bullet journal for brain dumps. It's nice for me to just turn to the next available page and dump all my thoughts out. I love a rolling weekly, and I like a 3-item to-do list. I want to keep track of our finances for the coming year, but I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't want it to be so elaborate that it's hard to keep up. However, I do appreciate the details because it provides context further down the line. This is my daughter's artwork. I like a master to-do list. Something huge for me to figure out for 2026 is how I'm going to juggle my home personal life admin work with my YouTube work. I don't know if I could balance 2 separate planners, like 2 separate notebooks, because then I would feel very split. On the flip side though, I do feel a bit cluttered having both things on the same page. I think I'm gonna just have to try out some different layouts and find ways to separate the information so that in my mind it's clearer. I really loved this layout, having a work to do page and a home to do page. It's also somewhat pleasing to the eyes for some reason. Maybe it's because I like filled up pages. For July, I tried out a 1 line a day and I really enjoyed that. I liked how this was like a low friction entry level back into journaling for me. It's just one line a day, and that was really easy to keep up with. I decided to put the habit tracker here instead of here because it made more sense to fill up the page. This is a pleasant surprise. I really enjoy keeping a health diary and tracking my supplements, tracking my symptoms. It's been very informative, and it's nice to look at my month and to see how I was feeling, what I was taking, and to have comments and reflections about what I ate that might have made me nauseous or might have given me a headache, etc. So I will keep the spread for sure. And this is when I tried to do the Hobonichi Weeks layout for just homemaking related stuff. And then I did the Hobonichi Weeks layout just for the work stuff. And that was really confusing, having like my life split into two separate spreads. I really enjoyed using a different color pen to cross things out. For some reason, it brought upon a huge sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. This is my pocket notebook. I'm currently using a Moleskine. I got this cover, it's handmade, off Amazon. And it came with another little notebook, so I just keep the two together. My daughter's input. This is basically my everyday carry and analog inbox. It's what I use to write down any fleeting moments of inspiration or ideas. I like this a lot. I think it's better for me to use this than using my notes app on my phone, because once I write something down on my notes app, it's hard for me to keep my notes app clean and to have all the information filed properly, and to also keep up with integrating and migrating the information on the notes app onto its respective places, if that makes sense. So I think it's easier for me just to write it on a notebook like this. And then once I've done migrating it, I just cross it out. And in that way, I have a sense of relief, because when I look at these pages, I think, okay, I've done all these things. I've migrated them to where they need to be, and I can recycle these pages. This is my junk journal. It's a Stylogy B6. Yeah, no complaints here. I will definitely be keeping this. And I really like this notebook. It's like the perfect size of big enough, but small enough to be portable. And lastly, this is my reading journal in a 6-ring binder. The reason why I chose using a ring binder over a bound notebook is because of the modular benefits. I like being able to place things where they need to be for a certain time, and then if I want to mix things up, I can. I don't really grab this often other than to mark off my reading tracker, and that's how it's supposed to be used. Step number 3 is to define your planning needs and intentions. I'm going to be mind mapping all of my thoughts, emotions, and all the options there are out there. I will write 2026 in the center just to really anchor this spread. The first section I really want to mind map is my homemaking, life admin, personal area. This would entail brain dumps, thought processing, habit tracking, health tracking, plus diary, tracking finances, to-dos, appointments, and events. I want to point out the difference for me between brain dumps and thought processing. Brain dumps for me is when I'm overwhelmed and I need to just dump anything and everything that's on my mind. And thought processing for me is maybe I take one aspect of my brain dump and then maybe I'll just write about it even more. I've got my junk journal and my reading journal. These two are standalone things that I can more or less just ignore. The next section I want to tackle is my work, specifically YouTube. This entails brain dumping as well. Next aspect is the blog. I don't even know if I'll tackle Pinterest at all because this is a lot already. From the blog, we have the email newsletter. Next will be digital offers. Now I'm going to try to make some connections here. So we have brain dumping here in the homemaking life admin area. We have brain dumping with YouTube. So these two will go together. And it'll be in my everyday carry pocket notebook. The junk journal and the reading journal already have their own notebooks. So this tells me I already have 3 notebooks. Planning, scheduling, and scripting, and keeping track of posts to write, the blog posts themselves, and writing newsletters. All of these actually go under Notion. Okay, that looks kind of gross, but bear with me. I also forgot writing newsletters belongs with Notion too. All that's left really is thought processing, weekly overview of tasks, an area to possibly do a brain dump. I say possibly because I don't think I can dedicate myself to a dated daily page like the Hobonichi Techo. It has daily pages, as you can see. And so it would be such a waste if I end up with a lot of blank pages. Let's focus on the homemaking personal area of my life. Let's write out layouts that would work. I like a future log, but it's not a necessary thing because I could always write down appointments and events in the monthly calendars. A monthly log would be good because that would take care of appointments and events. I think a notes section would be beneficial to do a monthly master to-do list. For to-dos, what I've noticed so far this year is that I like looking at my life week by week, so I'm more of a weekly planner. I don't know if I need to keep the rolling weekly or I could try something out. That's why I want to try out the Hobonichi Weeks layout. A weekly spread would take care of the to-dos. With brain dumping and thought processing, I would need extra blank pages just for an area to do all that stuff. I don't know if I want to track these things in the order that I've been tracking them. What I do is the monthly log, and then I track. And then I move on to the next monthly log, and then I do my tracking for that. But I think in order for me to really see patterns, I can still create parameters and limit my tracking month by month, but I want all my months together, if that makes sense. So I think a separate section of my planner or notebook could just be for tracking. The one thing that I didn't write out yet is the 1 line a day. So I want to do a bit of journaling / memory keeping. And that has inspired me to maybe purchase the Hobonichi 5-year Techo, where it has 5 different sections for those 5 years respectively for you to memory keep or journal about that day. I think that would be really interesting to do because then you have all 5 years in one notebook. I'm not sure if I want to have 5 years in one notebook or I want to have one notebook dedicated to 1 year. The reason why I'm leaning towards the 5-year Techo is because I want to be able to jot down memories of mundane daily life with my children or any milestones that they reach and have that in a 5 year so that I can look back and see their progression and development and their growth over the span of 5 years. And starting a 5-year Techo sounds really exciting because then I get to capture all these memories, these moments that I would otherwise forget eventually. And I wish I started this sooner. I tried to with the Hobonichi Weeks. I tried to document Alora's first year and I just couldn't keep up because motherhood was so intense. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe purchasing a Hobonichi 5-year Techo. Please let me know if you can think of any alternatives besides the Hobonichi. This EDC pocket notebook would be the Moleskine. I've not really explored or done any research into pocket notebooks, but please let me know your recommendations of what's a good pocket notebook to check out. The reason why I don't think I could split my life into 2 separate planners is because of the time frame aspect. I do my YouTube work in the margins of motherhood, so during nap time and bedtime, and those 2 things are so interlinked that I think splitting them into 2 notebooks would be counterproductive possibly. So I feel like these have to work with my layouts here that I need in my life and personal section. I could do a Hobonichi Weeks. The Mega would give me more than enough pages to do the brain dumps and thought processing, to have a separate section for all the tracking I want to do, maybe a sterling ink. And lastly, I think a traveler's notebook system may work. All of this can go together to be a all-in-one planner. What I see from this, albeit it is very chaotic and messy, is that I've got 5 notebooks going on here. Got my pocket notebook, my possibly Hobonichi 5-year Techo, a junk journal, reading journal, and all-in-one planner. What I would be using the most would be the all-in-one, the memory keeping one, and the pocket notebook. So really, I just have 3. And then these 2 are more like hobbies on the side when I have time. It's really casual. Step 5 is to wait and decide mindfully. Before buying, I'm going to give myself some space to make a really thoughtful and intentional decision. I'm going to test out the week's layout. I think this is a really great opportunity for me to repurpose something that I've purchased in the past, give it some new life, and try out a different layout. I'm going to be redating everything basically. I'm going to start with the monthly log, change all the dates up here. Something that I will be doing for the month of September, at least for the first week or so, is just use one pen, specifically one black pen, because when it comes to experimenting with new layouts, a new planner, a new system, I like to create parameters for myself so that I can prioritize function over the aesthetics. I've done this before in the past with my Hobonichi Techo in A6. I started out the first month just using black ink, as you can see, and then when I had a better grasp on the layout and everything, then I added some color to show some differentiation between the various things going on in my life. The next thing for me to set up now are the weeklies. No, it's smudged. No! I have some of these old 6-ring binder inserts that kind of match the color of the page, so I thought I would use these. I'll get back to that another time. Now I'm going to plug in all my events, appointments, home tasks, and work tasks. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to organize it, but I will try one layout and see how this week goes. I'm thinking of splitting it here all the way down and having this section, this column, be for appointments and events. I'm thinking of creating a rolling weekly up top here for all the recurring chores that I have to do. Now I'm going to figure out my work to-dos. And yeah, this is how it's going to be for now. We'll see how this week goes. Now moving on to the collections part of this Hobonichi Weeks, I'm going to do some habit tracking. I think I'm going to skip my usual habit tracker and just do health tracking and my health diary. I think that's the most I can do for this month. But with my 1 line a day journaling portion, I'm thinking maybe I will try to do that in my Techo just to see if I can actually fill up a whole page. Because I have a lot of blank pages that need some repurposing, and it wouldn't hurt to experiment to see if I actually can fill up an A6. That way, whether or not this works for me, I have some data as to what would be the best planner suited for my journaling needs. So what I'll do is start on the date, and then I will just change the day. But first, let's make the health tracker. I'm thinking I will stamp out September health diary, I guess, something like that. Next, I'm doing a linear calendar with the dates down the page as well as the days of the week. And then up top will be where I will be tracking all my supplements as well as symptoms. And then this will be where I will write down any thoughts or reflections about my health in general for each day. I'm forgetting what supplements I take. Let me see here. Multi-magglycinate, mag citrate, fish oil, NAC, vitamin E as well. No more probiotic. Next are the symptoms I face. I think that's about it. Yeah. There we go. And there is my September health tracker and diary. Now for the Techo, my 1 line a day, technically 1 page a day journaling, will start on the 1st of September. I will just block out the day and write Monday instead. And there we have it. This will be my September setup with my monthly right here, the weeklies, and then any habit tracking or collections I can come up with will be back here in the notes area. Also, a bit of experimentation on daily journaling. Now I've got something exciting to announce, so I'm thrilled to finally share something with you that I've been working on for a very long time that I hope, Lord willing, will house future projects and ventures. It's my new blog and website called Of Home and Page. On this site, you'll find my favorite things to share, like bullet journaling, analog planning, home and rhythm, reflections on my life and what's on my heart, and the everyday beauty of family and motherhood. Think of this like a cozy corner of the internet for those who love pen and paper, who find joy in the little systems that make life work, and who want to nurture our homes and our inner lives. So to celebrate this launch, I'm doing a giveaway. This is my very first giveaway. This is an international giveaway, so I would love for you to enter. And allow me to show you the goodies. Let's start with this. This is the Leuchtturm 1917 pocket notebook, soft cover with a grid layout in the color black. Next, we have the Leuchtturm 1917 A5 notebook, and it has 251 80 GSM paper in this beautiful color called Dusty Rose. Here is a brand I love. This is the Zebra Mildliner markers. It's in this pastel neutral color set. A couple of Muji pens, a red pen from Uniball, a stainless steel ruler, some washi tape, correction tape, and a timer. To enter, simply click on the link in the description box below or on the pinned comment. This would take you to the landing page. There, you can sign up for my email newsletter where you can get updates, no spam whatsoever, and that is your entry. After signing up, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a confirmation email just to make sure you're subscribed. Please be sure to check your spam or your promotions folder just to make sure it doesn't land there. And yeah, that's basically it. If you want more details on the giveaway, it's all in the description box below, as well as on the giveaway landing page. Good luck to all those who are participating. I know it's not much, it's a humble little giveaway, but it's from my heart to yours. I just want to say thank you and show some love as you have supported me on my YouTube journey and watching my content. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!